Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. I'm Vishali Khan and we are discussing the electronics engineering. Today, this is again a numerical practice session where we are going to practice some numericals on the applications of the diode. We have already discussed various applications of the diode like we have discussed full wave rectifier, half wave rectifier, bridge rectifier, clipper, clamper, the Zener diode as a shunt regulator and voltage multiplier. So if you have still not watched the theory videos, it is recommended that attend the theory classes first and then come to this video. So let's start our discussion with the first question for the day. It states, in the circuit shown in the below figure, calculate current over one period of the input voltage, assume the ideal diode. Right, so for only one period I have to find out the current, and for one period you can see the diodes would be forward biased. Even this diode as well as this diode will be forward biased. So I can replace the diodes, so I can write it down. D1 and D2 are forward bias, and when they are forward bias we can replace them with the short circuit, right? So you can assume that here we have a short circuit, and now it is a very simple problem where we have the voltages as cos t and sin t and some resistances over here, and we can find out the current, right? So this is a simple network problem that we have. So this is the node A, and now we are going to apply the Kirchhoff current law at node A. So when I apply the Kirchhoff current law, I hope you remember how to apply the Kirchhoff's current law. So when you apply the Kirchhoff's current law, V at A we consider as a potential at A, that is VA, right? So now VA minus this potential, which is cos t over here, right, divided by the resistances in this path. Because the diode is an ideal diode, it will not be having any resistance, is divided just by 2, right? So it will be added with the potential VA minus sin t, and again we are dividing it by 2. So VA minus sin t divided by 2, right? So now we are going to add the current over this branch. So this is the current which is flowing in this branch, current flowing in this branch, and current flowing in this branch. So current flowing in this branch can be represented as VA divided by 2 only, because here we have the zero potential, right? At the ground we have, right? So now we can represent the voltage difference as VA minus 0, and the resistance is 2, so we can represent this structure like this, and we will be having 0. So now we just need to simplify this, and we all can simplify a linear equation. So we will be having VA. Now we are left with 1 by 2. If I take VA common, and from here also we can take VA common, and I will be left out with 1 by 2. From here also I can take VA common, and I will be left out with 1 by 2. So now here I am left out with minus cos t upon 2, and here I am left out with minus sin t upon 2, right? So now 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is equal to 3 by 2. So here we will be having 3 VA upon 2. It will be equal to sin t plus cos t upon 2, right? So we can cancel out this 2, and from here we can calculate the VA, right? So VA will be equal to sin t plus cos t upon 3. So this is how we have calculated the VA. Now we had to find out the current. So current flowing through this branch, if I know VA, so what would be the current? I can apply the Ohm's law. I will be equal to the voltage upon the resistance. What is the resistance? It is 2 ohm. So VA is sin t plus cos t upon 2, sorry, upon 3. Now we will be having upon 2. So we will be having the I as sin t plus cos t upon 6. So this is how we can find out the VA. So now in the negative half cycle, this was the case for the positive half cycle, when the both of the diodes are forward bias and we have taken them as a short circuit. So this is the positive half cycle. Now in the negative half cycle, what will happen? The diodes D1 and D2 are D1 and D2 are reverse biased in the negative half cycle, and we consider them as open circuit, right? So now in the negative half cycle, we will not get any current I over there, and we will be having zero current over here, right? So I hope you understood this question well. Now we can proceed and move on towards the next question. So the next question states, for a given center tapped full wave rectifier, calculate first the DC output voltage, the peak inverse voltage, and the rectification efficiency. So now here it is given that the potential V1 is equal to 230 volt, right? And 2 is to N1 is also given, N2 is to N1 is 1 upon 5, right? N2 is 1 and N1 is 5. So we will see what all things are given to us. First of all, V1 is given, which is 230 volt, right? After that, N2 upon N1 is equal to 1 upon 5, right? And after that, RL is also given. What is RL? RL is equal to 100 ohm, right? So these things are given to me. We have to calculate first the DC output voltage. So let's find out the DC output voltage, which can be found out from the VRMS. So VRMS can be calculated simply as V2, right? We know the transformer equation. So according to the transformer equation, V2 upon V1 is equal to N2 upon N1. So V2 will be equal to V1 into N2 upon N1, right? So now we know V1, we know N2 upon N1. So we can put V1, which is 230. We can put N2 and N1, and we can get the output as 230 into 0.2, which will be equal to 46 volt. Right, so now we have VRMS, and now we can calculate the source voltage from the VRMS, right? So now the source voltage over here is the, or you can call it as a secondary voltage or the source voltage. We can find out the source voltage as the V2 upon 2, right? So V2 upon 2 will be equal to source voltage, and it will be equal to 46 upon 2. So it will be equal to 23 volt. Now we have find out the Vs, and from here Vm is equal to, it is the maximum voltage. So maximum voltage is equal to under root 2 into Vs. So this is the RMS voltage of the secondary of the transformer, and this is the RMS voltage over here, right, at this terminal. And now we can have the under root 2 of Vs as the peak voltage, and we can get the Vm as under root 2 into 23 volt, right? So now we have calculated the Vm. From Vm, we can calculate the VDC as well, which was the first part of the question. VDC is equal to 2 Vm upon pi, because it's a full wave rectifier, right? It is given in the question, it is full wave rectifier, so it will be equal to 2 into 32.5. This when you multiply this, it is coming out to be equal to 32.5 volt. 2 into 32.5 volt divided by pi. So again you can do the calculation with the calculator, and it will come out to be equal to 20.7 volt, right? So now coming to the next part, where we have to find out the peak inverse voltage. What is the peak inverse voltage? It is equal to twice of Vm, right? So it will be equal to twice into Vm. We have found out it is 32.5. 2 into 32.5 will be equal to peak inverse voltage, which is equal to 65 volt, right? Now the second part is over, and now we are moving on to the third part, which states us to find out the rectification efficiency. We all know the rectification efficiency for a full wave rectifier is 0.812, right? Or we can represent it as 81.2%, right? So I hope you understood this question really well. Now moving on towards the next question for the day. Now it states, for a given circuit, determine the output voltage, rectification efficiency, peak inverse voltage, and output frequency, right? So we have to assume all of the diodes are ideal. So what all things are given? The V1 is given, which is equal to 220 volt, right? So here the V1 is already given in the question, 220 volt. After that, N2 upon N1 is given, right? N2 upon N1 is equal to 1 upon 10, right? And after that we have RL. RL is given. RL is 250 ohm, right? You can see RL over here. Now we are moving on towards the first part, which asks us to find out the DC output voltage. So we know the relationship between the V2 and V1 for the transformer. V2 is equal to V1 and 2 upon N1. Right, so what is V1? It is 220 volt multiplied with 1 upon 10 is equal to 22 volts. So now we have calculated the V2. Now we will proceed to find out the Vm. From V2 we can find out the Vm. What is Vm now? Vm is under root 2 of V2, right? So it will be equal to under root 2 into 22, which will be equal to 31.11 volt if you use and find out it with the help of calculator. Now from the Vm I can calculate Im. What will be the Im? Im is the Vm upon RL from the Ohm's law. Simply I can state what is Im. So Vm is 31.11, we have calculated it, and RL is 250, right? So when you divide it, you will be getting the output equal to 124.44 milliampere. Right, so we have found out the current. Now we will be finding out the DC output voltage. So VDC, we can represent it as VDC. So the VDC will be equal to IDC into RL, right? So now we have calculated IDC. So now we can easily calculate the IDC from the Im. So it can be given as 2Im upon pi into RL, right? So let's put the value of Im. 2 into 124.44 upon pi into RL. What is RL over here? It is 250, right? So now when you do the calculation, it will be coming out to be equal to 19.80 volt. Right, now coming to the rectification efficiency, which is the last part of this question. Right, so now we have to find out the rectification efficiency. So for that we need to find out the DC power output, the AC input power. So PDC is equal to, we know, IDC square into RL. PAC is equal to I RMS square into RL. Right? So now we can take the value of PDC and we can take the value of IRMS, and we can find out the efficiency. Right? So now we can calculate them separately as well. So either you can calculate them separately and or you can use the formula PDC upon IDC. You can just cancel out the RL and you can find out the rectification efficiency. So let's find PDC and PAC separately. So we know what is IDC. IDC we have found out. So we can find out IDC from this formula 2Im upon pi. So when you put the value of Im is equal to 124.44 and you will be calculating the IDC from this formula, IDC will be coming out to be equal to 79.22 into 10 raised to power minus 3 square into RL is 250. So when you calculate it, PDC will be equal to, you can find it out and it will be coming out to be equal to 1.56 watt, right? And similarly you can find out PAC. For that you require IRMS, and IRMS can be found out with Im upon root 2. So when you calculate Im upon root 2, so it will be equal to 124.44 upon root 2 into 10 raised to power minus 3 square into RL is 250. Right, so when you calculate it, you will be getting 1.935 watt. Right, so now efficiency will be equal to the PDC upon PAC, which will be equal to 1.56 upon 1.935. So you can calculate it to be equal to 0.8 805, or we can write it as 80.5%, right? So now coming to the last part of the question, which states we have to find out the peak inverse voltage and output frequency. So first of all, we will be looking for the peak inverse voltage. So what is the peak inverse voltage? It is Vm over here. So it will be equal to Vm is equal to 31.11, right? So this is my peak inverse voltage. Output frequency, because this is a full wave rectifier, output frequency will be equal to 2 into input frequency, right? Input frequency is given as 50 hertz, so it will be equal to 2 into 50 hertz, which will be equal to 100 hertz, right? So this is how we can solve all of the parts of the given question. Now moving on to the next question for the day. So here it is stated a 220 volt 50 hertz AC voltage is applied at the primary of a 4:1 step down center tap transformer used in a full wave rectifier having a load resistance of 800 ohm. If the diode resistance has a value of 200 ohm, determine the DC voltage across the load, DC current flowing through the load, DC power delivered to the load, PIV across each diode, and ripple voltage and its frequency. So we have to find out a lot of parameter over here. So let's start our discussion with the things which are given. So we are given with the primary voltage V1, which is 220 volt, right? After that, what is given? We can find out the secondary voltage. This is the primary RMS voltage. We can find out the secondary RMS voltage. The N2 upon N1 ratio is given, which is 1 upon 4. So V2 will be equal to 1 upon 4 into V1, which is 220 volt. So when you calculate it, it will be coming out to be equal to 55 volt, right? So now after that, from this is my V2 RMS, right? So Vrms will be equal to V2 upon 2, right? Because this is a center tapped transformer, and for that Vrms will be equal to V2 upon 2, right? It will be equal to 55 upon 2, which is equal to 27.5 volt, right? Now we can find out the peak value. Peak value is Vm. How we can represent it? So Vm is equal to under root 2 into Vrms. We have calculated the Vrms. This is my Vrms 27.5. So under root 2 into 27.5. So you can put the value of under root 2, 1.414, and you can find out it. So when you multiply 1.414 with 27.5, you are going to get 38.775 volt, right? So now we are moving to find out all of the parameters that is asked in the question. First, it is asked to find out the VDC. So VDC is equal to 2 Vm upon pi, right? So now it will be equal to 2 into 38.775 upon pi, right? So Vm, we know, we just substituted the value of Vm and it will be coming out to be equal to 24.6 volt, right? After that, the second part we have to find out, which asks us to find out IDC. So IDC will be equal to VDC upon RL plus RF. So VDC we have found out, upon RL plus RF we have to do. So what is VDC? We have found out to be equal to 24.6. What is RL? RL is 800, and what is RF? RF is 200. So 800 plus 200. So now we will be having 24.6 milliampere. This will be 1000. So when we have 1000 in the numerator, it will be 10 raised to power minus 3, which represents as a milliampere, right? So now the third part we are moving towards. So in the third part, we have to find out the PDC. PDC will be equal to IDC square into RL, right? So now what is IDC? It is 24.6 square into RL. What is RL? RL is 800. Now 24.6 is milliampere, so we will be having 10 raised to power minus 3 square as well, right? So you can calculate it and it will be coming out to be equal to 0.644 watt. Now moving on towards the next part, which asks us to find out the peak inverse voltage. So peak inverse voltage will be equal to 2 Vm for this case, right? So it will be equal to 2 into Vm. What is Vm? 38.775. So when you calculate it, it will be equal to 77.5 volt. So now moving on to the next part. So here we have to find out the ripple voltage. So VR will be equal to under root Vrms square minus VAC square, right? So we know what is Vrms, we know how we can calculate the VAC, right? So Vrms we have calculated, so it is 27.5 volt, 27.5 square minus, so VAC is 24.5 square, one whole under root. So when you find out this, you can use the calculator and it will be coming out to be equal to 7.174 volt. So now the frequency of the ripple voltage will be equal to twice of the frequency. Frequency is equal to twice of F in. What is F in? 50 hertz. So it will be equal to 50 into 2, which is equal to 100 hertz. The output will be having the frequency of 100 hertz. Now moving on to the next question for the day. It states a full wave rectifier circuit delivers 40 watt to a load resistance of 150 watt. If ripple factor is given as 1%, then determine the ripple voltage across the load. Right, so PDC is given, right? So we know the formula of PDC. PDC is equal to, in the terms of VDC, it will be equal to VDC square upon RL. This is the formula of power in the terms of voltage, and from this I can represent VDC square as PDC into RL, right? Or VDC will be equal to, what would be VDC? It is equal to under root PDC into RL, right? So now let's put the value of PDC. It is given in the question. It is given that the power is 40 watt, right? And what is RL? Load resistance is also given, 150 ohm. So this is actually ohm. So now power is 40 watt and the resistance is 150 ohm. You can correct it. It is ohm over here. So under root of 40 into 150 will be equal to 77.4 volt. Right, so this is how we can calculate the VDC. Also the next thing is given, which is ripple factor. We know the formula of ripple factor, which is equal to VAC upon VDC. Right, from here we can calculate VAC, which is equal to ripple factor into VDC. Right, now from the question we can put the value of ripple factor, which is equal to 0.01, and VDC we have calculated, which is 77.4. So we will be having 0.774 volt as the VAC output. So I hope you understood this question well. So if you have any doubt in any of the question, you can put the doubt in the comment and I will be trying to resolve your doubt as soon as possible. I hope you like this session. If you like it, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends and also give me your feedback. Thank you so much.